coolish here in the UK, Chris, but roasting in Europe.
Yes, that's right, Rita. We've been covering this story, of course, over recent days, but it's the heat wave in the south of Europe that's taking centre stage. Yesterday, we got 45.8 in Sardinia for a high. Similar maximum temperatures expected today. There could be some city records broken. The all-time record for Sardinia remains 47.2, set in 1957. It's a similar story in Sicily. Quite near record, 46 degrees Celsius in the forecast this afternoon. The all-time record 48.8, which is also Europe's highest temperature. And talk about extreme heat. It's exactly a year ago today that the UK smashed its all-time temperature record, 40.3 degrees Celsius in Lincolnshire. No chance of that this afternoon. As Rita was mentioning, we do have rather coolish conditions. We've got some showers around as well.
Good afternoon. Despite the largely cloudy start first thing this morning, we have seen the cloud breaking, so some decent spells of sunshine as we head through the afternoon. Sunday again, heavy, potentially thundery showers. It is going to stay pretty blustery and windy throughout. The wind perhaps not quite as strong as last weekend, but still significant, and it stays unsettled into the first part of next week.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. Hope you had a good day. Hard to imagine this time last year we managed to reach 40 degrees, considerably and thankfully less hotter at the moment, although I know a bit disappointing for some that it is a bit unsettled. What have we got for you? Well, tomorrow, some sunny spells, still a few showers in the mix. Into Friday, that cloud building, but generally dry, fewer showers, and then it does go a bit downhill as we go through the weekend with some wet and windy weather moving in as we go through perhaps the latter part of Saturday.
He's talking about rain. You're going to talk about a bit of rain too, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. In a word. But actually, I thought we'd take a look back at this time last year, Sophie, when we had our record-breaking heat. And of course, heat is in the forecasts across the world at the moment, exceptional heat as we had here, but nothing like that heading our way. Temperatures perhaps a degree down, but again, feeling quite pleasant in that strong July sunshine when you see the sunshine. And there should be some around for most, and not showers for all. In fact, of course, it's the start of the Open Championships tomorrow at Hoylake as well. So here, just the odd shower, but look at the weekend forecast. Very similar picture, of course, in Old Trafford, because it looks really quite unsettled as we get through the weekend. So important we talk about that as well, Riz. This is Kew this morning, looking a little bit on the misty side, it has to be said. Of course, this time last year, we had that record-breaking heat here in the UK. Nothing like that coming our way, although we did have some lovely sunshine, as you can see, across Tower Bridge this afternoon. What is heading our way? We had a really unsettled weekend last weekend with low pressure. We've got another low pressure rolling itself in here. Might stay mostly dry on Saturday, but come Sunday and Monday, we've got some really rather unsettled wet and windy weather, Riz.
It's the facial expressions. Ellen, thank you.
Hello. I wonder if you remember what you were doing this time last year. Well, chances are you were sweating. Yes, it was the UK's hottest day on record, 40.3 degrees Celsius recorded in Lincolnshire. Fast forward to today, what a different story. 1 year later, a lot of cloud around, some showers and temperatures at best into the low 20s. The jet stream pattern this weekend, well, we keep the trough to the west of the UK. That keeps our weather unsettled. It's this ridge in the jet stream that's been responsible for the extreme heat in Europe. And if anything, that ridge is moving a little bit further eastwards, and so too will the highest temperatures. So we're starting to see some indications that we could see some extreme heat in parts of Greece this weekend, maybe even getting quite close to the all-time European temperature record. We'll keep a close eye on that. But at least for Scotland and Northern Ireland, the rain should pull away a little bit on Sunday to allow something a bit brighter into the afternoon. And then next week, well, we've got further showers in the forecast. That's it for now.
Alex, what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? How different it is actually today. But yes, on this day last year, it was a record-breaking day. We were dealing with extreme heat, dangerous heat as well. In fact, by 5 o'clock on this day, 34 weather stations across the UK had broken the previous record set at 38.7 degrees Celsius. And we saw scenes like this, fires spreading because of the heat. And it was certainly damaging to infrastructure, and it led to those droughts which continued throughout the summer as well. But 40 degrees was a temperature that wasn't thought that we could reach some years ago, but we reached 40.3 degrees Celsius. So we could take a look at it now. That was in Coningsbury in Lincolnshire. In comparison to what we've been dealing with today in Suffolk, 25 degrees Celsius, certainly respectable, but somewhat cooler and more bearable in comparison. So what was different on these 2 days? Well, let's take a look back at this day last year, and we had high pressure dominating. You can probably make out by just the small H's on the screen here. That's where we had the high pressure very much in control, not just here, but surrounding the UK, so into Europe as well. They were tapping into the heat. But fast forward a year, and because of where the jet stream is at the moment, we're not tapping into the heat wave, which is across the Mediterranean. We've got low pressure across some parts of the UK, and that's allowing for a more changeable weather pattern. And you can see this side by side. Is this going to change as we head through the next few days? Well, it's unlikely for now. Well, the forecast as we head further into, well, late July is set to stay rather unsettled. Expect more cloudy skies at times and also some outbreaks of rain. The weekend heads up isn't looking that great, particularly on Saturday. And temperatures, although they've been above average across some parts of the UK, so 25 out towards the southeast, generally they are going to be staying a little below average for this time of year. Yeah, so on the whole, temperatures below average for the time of year, but 25 degrees this afternoon, certainly fairly respectable. I wouldn't want to be back at 40, certainly.
Yeah, I remember that day last year. I was here in the aircon. Very lucky.
Very
Alex,
lucky indeed.
Thank you.